this so that I can have something like this to travel. I still find Excel on Mac a little complicated.
There's the new iteration, but you're right, it has been a bit cumbersome.
Okay, Chris, while you're out of the room, I was just saying to everyone, because we're not doing it sequentially now, it's not you and then John. I just want to make sure John has enough time to answer questions on how you're going to do it. I mean, you two have done these before, obviously, you're the experts, and I just don't want one of you to say, oh, I never had enough chance to ask, or whatever, you know. So, it's a short day, so I keep asking this question to make sure, are you both able to ask what you need to ask? And I throw that out to you guys, you know.
Look, this is all fine for me. So it's there are a large number of documents that you've provided, and thank you, and a lot can be done with those documents. The great merit of a meeting like this is to get some human colour, for me at any rate.
We were just saying that, yeah.
And that's principally the point for me. I think we included in the letter, we had a whole load of detailed questions, but I don't see any particular merit in going through those detailed questions face to face, because generally there's no human colour to a lot of that. So to the extent that you're prepared to answer the odd question afterwards, I'm very happy to do it by way of a written exchange. So I'm not at all concerned about getting my questions answered.
John?
Yeah, I think the one-day format, as I've said from the beginning, is extremely abbreviated in my experience, both projects inside and outside of litigation. So we're doing our best to work within this and appreciate the documents. There will be a sizable number of follow-up questions. We'll beg your indulgence in advance to provide, because we do have a lot of questions on details. I think one of the things that might be helpful that Yuka and I were talking about in the break was it might be good if we could confirm the two working models and then perhaps have someone from HOMINS walk us through that model. We think in that way we could probably knock out a lot of the detailed questions we had on the modeling, with the benefit of seeing it on the screen and kind of explaining to us how it's built and how it's devised. So if you think that's a good use of time, we might suggest.
You think that's a good use of time today?
I think it would be.
Oh, okay.
But your question makes me think you don't think it is.
Well, I have some confidence that we have worked our way through the models. It could be that confidence is misplaced, but I think not. So I feel okay about that. But I think if we wanted to do it for an hour or so, then that would be fine for me. And I guess if you want to do it anyway, then you should.
Yeah. I mean, we've gone through the model out and have, I think, a good understanding of it, but I don't want to be presumptuous, given they're not my models. I'd like to, from your perspective, understand some of the elements so we can make sure we're interpreting properly what we think we're seeing. So if we might spend some time on that, I would be greatly appreciative, with your indulgence.
Whose model is it? It's Fred. Are you the?
Yeah, I'm doing the model.
Yeah,
I'm the guy.
Well, I think it's only fair that you should have a session where you're in the hot seat.
The order is too complicated.
That worked out nicely, didn't it?
Yeah, I think so. So I'm happy to do that. I would like to cover a little bit the motivation behind the transaction, and and actually I do have some questions about the model itself, but more around the extent to which it's an adapted tool, whether it's a tool that you use for annual budgeting, for example, that you've now extended, or whether the model was specially built for the process. So I have some questions around that, but those I think wouldn't take very long. I do want to discuss. I wanted to discuss the transaction.
As do we.
So there you go. So I think if you would like to spend an hour or so now running through the model, I think that would be absolutely fine.
Right.
Yeah.
So I suggest that I think we will, Kathy and I, we will
briefly introduce
introduce and explain what these two models are, and maybe what each sheet has a brief description on what the sheets are, and then feel free to ask questions along the way,
Yeah.
and then we can leave the more next level of detail maybe in written response, something like that.
Yeah.
Should we show it off? Or?
So we do this one now, right? This model one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should we show it out? Yeah.
连上去。
Do we have the projector?
就这个，就这个。
Oh, great. No, this is the
Oh,
recorder.
that's the
The recorder.
recorder.
No, we need the controller first. Oh, yeah, we get it.
So.
So basically, they will.
So this file. 是名字没有了，这个什么 Okay, this file is called, you can see it, it's called working file for 37C 2011 to 2020 November projections. This is the working file. So for this page, this is basically the overall financial projections we give to the Credit Suisse. So for here you can see we have a full year from 11 to full year 14, that's all the actual figures. Then from full year 15 to full year 20 are all the projection numbers. And when we provide the projections to Credit Suisse, we have a first one we provided these projections to them from 2011 to 2020. Later we have updated the full year 15 figures based on the Q3 actual. So that's the reason why we have another file called the working file 37C 2015 full year, because that one is done afterwards. Basically the time is around November 2015 after we have finished the Q3 actuals. So we updated the full year 15. So we have a separate working file for the updated 2015 full year results. And this file is we have done in August. We prepared the 5-year projections based on basically Q2 and July results, and has been submitted to Special Committee and Credit Suisse during, I think, during September of the 2015.
We were asked to develop a financial projection, so at that time we only had actual results up till July 2015. So the model was set up using July 2015 and prior numbers. The first version was provided to Special Committee in August of 2015, and then subsequently there were, after discussion, etc., there were some minor updates, and then also two versions. One is, as you see in the 13E3, one is with our CEO's inputs, one is without the CEO's inputs. So this is the one that was based on with CEO's inputs.
That's the
and-
final chosen version by Credit Suisse and the special committee.
And then the reason there's another file is because as 2015 progressed, we needed to update some third quarter 2015 numbers to avoid, but one quarter, the actual result for third quarter 2015 will certainly be somewhat different from the projected number, but the variance was not big, and we do not believe the variance indicate any fundamental changes in the business. Therefore, we didn't think it was necessary to update any further forecast based on August and September variance between the actual and the projection. Therefore, we used another file to provide 2015 actual full year numbers, but this file, the forecast for 2016 to 2020 is what Credit Suisse used for the fairness opinion.
That's also a normal quarterly budgeting process, because every quarter we will do a rolling forecast for the remaining of the year. So for example, Q1 we will do the rest of the year, the rest of 3 quarters, and for Q3 we will do the rest of the year. So every quarter we will do an update for the current year.
Without
we will not
changes
change the
for
futures.
subsequent years, unless there's some fundamental changes.
Yeah, that's for the standard or normal rolling forecast process. Yeah.
So the 2011 through 2020 file, the model that was submitted to the special committee in August, the actual number is up to July.
Yes, yes.
If I could add this way, okay. Some numbers for July is actually preliminary numbers from operating system. This can only be fixed on a quarterly basis on quarter end Q3, okay.
Because we also explained in our previous response, I forgot to give given to FTI or give to Holis, is we every month we don't produce a full set of the statutory reports. We only do it quarterly, but every month we have some internal management key informations, especially the key operation related kind of figures. That figure, I mean, every quarter we are based on a strict accounting requirement to do some adjustments to reach the quarterly official financial statements. Yeah. So that's why it's based on July's remaining
So
preliminary
up to July,
operation.
but some numbers may not even be used. Not every line item has actual July numbers, because some numbers are only available quarterly.
And then 2015 file, we saw the numbers are hard-coded up to September. Some numbers are hard-coded in October.
Okay, let me explain this way, okay. In the 5 year which provided on August, the numbers up to Q2 15 is actual number. But some numbers of July is preliminary number.
Okay.
So up until now, forecasting, right?
Okay.
For the 2015, which will provide on November, all the numbers up to Q3 15 is actual number, and for some number of October is preliminary number, and up to there is forecasting. So same logic, you see that always first month,
Basically,
right?
we try to utilize the actual information as much as we can. Even if it's preliminary, for example, July or October, we will use it because this gives us more reliability for the forecast foundation. That's the reason why you will see sometimes you have October figure or July figure. But basically, majority will use the Q2 and Q3. That's really the full set of the actuals. But for lots of operation figure, if we have July and October already, we will utilize it in our model.
But
Yeah.
am I correct in hearing that you don't necessarily roll forward any change into the projection period? The projection stays static. You're just updating the most recent
Yeah,
data?
yeah, and also because we think the change in one, because we do it in August as that first part. This one is in November. So this only change is basically Q3's actual figures,
Right.
and the change is minor. So we don't believe this one quarter's change is
Sure.
going to impact my future 5 years projections. Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you.
And for this one, you can see, I'm not sure if you remember, we have a information provided to the Credit Suisse and also the third committee. We have this one. Then we have a column here shows the updated full year 15. That's the original provided. So this one is all the one we provided in September based on Q2 or July actuals. And this one we call updated the full year is done in November in separate file with working file. And for this whole logic, no, it's okay.
Okay.
For the whole logic is we have this is the full group, and its component is we have economy, we have the detail, we have Home Plus. These three we think is a major building stone of the whole projection. Economy covers all the brands like Homing, like Motel, like Cloud, like Fairyland, because we manage together as the economy segment or business unit.
Fairyland is also included in economy.
Sorry? Yes, Fairyland
Fairyland,
is included.
yes,
Yes, we
it's
do
in
have a
economy.
separate
Right.
Fairyland management team met together. Then Home Retail is a separate team managed, and for Homing Plus, this is our newly launched, also very important brand. So we do this one separate because this is maybe the future of the key growth driver. So we do this one separate, also in a much more detailed granular to try to be as reliable as we can. Then also here we provide the cash flow. It's based on the basically in line with the total figures. Working capital. For working capital and cash flow is all by total company. We don't separate by segments or brands because we do manage working capital and balance sheet together. We don't have a by segment balance sheet. It's all central managed, the whole cash and working capital. Revenue, this shows the detailed breakdown of how we build up our revenue. So we have basically we have different components. We have for example, we have a this is the group level, but
Group level, okay.
so we have each brand. We have the for each brand we separate into the LO revenue and FM revenue. And for LO revenue, we based on we have this is a hotel room revenue, food and beverage. This is a product sold from this prevention platform. We have some sublease rental. We have some miscellaneous rental. We have a card revenue. Card revenue is something we sell the membership card at the hotel level. So we charge 48 RMB for one silver card. We charge 88 RMB for kind of a gold card. With this card, they can enjoy some discounts for the rates. So that's we call card with membership card revenue. And so for the franchise revenue, it's a bit simpler because we have all this all based on rooms. We have the ADR projection, OCC projection, the RevPAR, then based on the beginning and the closing hotel number, also total room number of the hotel. Well, this is actually this figure is the most important one, the total room number. This number unit of hotel gives some guidance, but all the projection is based on the total number of the room because that's really the minimum units to generate revenue. Yeah. So if you something kind of, for example, here we have some small deviations for the hotel number, doesn't matter because this is the figure we use to drive all the projections. So with this one, we have the how much is being rented out. And again, what's the beginning number of rooms, what's the closing number of rooms. We all use the average, for example, between beginning of the year and closing of the year to get the average, the whole year.
Beginning of period.
And sometimes
And
the
the
first team
period.
is even goes to more rigorous kind of projection. They even use every month figure, go to 13 figures for every month beginning, month closing. So you have 13 months, then divide by 13 to get even more even more, how to say, accurate average per room. I think they use it for the mid-scale one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for mid-scale one, because we think it's very important. Also, it's we are in the earlier stage. We want to try to be as accurate as we can. So you can sometimes we use the closing plus beginning divided by 2. Sometimes we're using 12 months is the closing beginning divided by 13. But same purpose, just try to be as accurate as we can, especially for the small scale unit, because you need more kind of attention. Then we get the estimation for what's the franchise hotel room revenue and what's the estimated franchise hotel total gross revenue. And based on this revenue, we calculate how much Hongmin is going to record in our books as Hongmin's revenue. So based on this room figure, revenue and total revenue of the franchise hotel, then we based on our contract with the franchisee, so we get again how much we can. This is for different. This is for the this is for the management fee. This is for the franchise hotel manager salary package. This is for the franchisee brand loyalty fee. This is for the central reservation commission. This is for the we provide the PMS. We charge fee to them, and also we charge a commission to the card they sold. And with this detail, we work out what's our revenue from the franchise hotels business. So with this total franchise revenue we got, and our own
lease and operate hotel revenue.
Lease and operate revenue, we got total revenue. So the reason why is because this is very complicated. I want to be as granular as possible. So we have a separate working sheet to show how we work out the revenue, or only one figure in the main one, but we have a whole logic behind each brand. Each brand, what's the franchise, what's LO, and each revenue, what's components for all our revenue generation activities. So that's for the whole revenue projection.
Cost.
Okay, so here is more for the cost part. So for cost, this revenue and this claim. The cost, we have the business tax and also the major item of the expense or cost that we incur for the overall operations. We explained we have some cost of normal cost. We have some people cost. We have the consumables, energy, maintenance, sales commission we pay to the agency OTAs, and laundry and others. So these are the major cost items we normally track or record and analyze every month for our normal operations. Then we have the marketing fee in the hotel level, and the regional or area manager, their team's expense. So from here we get the lease and operate hotels direct profit for at the hotel level. Then we minus the rental and depreciation, because these two are out of their control. This is basically fixed when we sign the contract, and this one is fixed after we build up the hotel. So these two minus, this is to measure the hotel's performance. This is to get the hotel's overall operating profit, and that's the margin of the hotel. Direct operating hotel, the operating margin. Then we have goes to the franchise the hotels. Same, we have a revenue we mentioned already. Then we the cost is simpler for the franchise hotel because we only have the business tax, that's a fixed percentage. Then we have the salary of the franchise hotel manager. Because these people we pay salary for them, and normally we pay higher than we get from the franchise hotel, and give them more motivation to operate the hotel with the better performance. Then some other costs very, very small, you can ignore it. Then we got the operating profit from the franchise hotel. So you can see it's much higher actually than the LO hotel's operation. These two are the company level. One is the sales and marketing expenses, And we have the general and admin expenses, including IT, including finance, HR, etc. And all here. Yeah. And we also have a separate, we call the pre-opening expense. So this one is something different from all the other items. This is depends on the newly built LO hotels we're going to build each year. With the LO hotels, we are going to calculate what will be their cost incurred in that year. The majority one will be their rental because we pay rent during the renovation or can build up monthly. And then in this one we're going to have a separate building. So we have the LOs, the operating profit. We have the FM's operating profit. We have the pre-opening hotels expense, and plus the company level expense. Then we get the company level total operating profit and the margin. Then afterwards we have the projection for the financial expenses at the company level. This is not high, but we're based on our actual leverage or loan and our cash balance to calculate this figure. Then we have some other expenses.
Subsidy.
Mainly is this government subsidy we're going to get. That's the major item in this area.
So the government subsidy is a kind of tax rebate from various local or provincial governments, and those are pre-negotiated every year by contract.
And how do they vary?
How do you what?
How do they vary region by region?
No, I guess
from year to year.
Is the subsidy, is the amount sort of per guest night?
No. It's like
per
this.
what?
Basically, we have some majority coming from our corporate companies. We have many companies in China.
Yeah.
Because of the legal requirement. We have more than 400 legal entities in China, but majority are contain one single or two hotels.
Right.
For big companies, for the company level. So we do negotiate certain kind of the we call it financial support or rebate policies. This one is based on your actual tax you paid. For example, if I have a place in Shanghai somewhere, the government will know how much tax I paid. So for different taxes, they're going to give me a certain kind of a rebate, support me, or to kind of reward me, reward the company.
That we incorporate our business in their
Oh, in their place.
Yeah.
I understand.
So it's easy to calculate. They know your tax, how much you pay.
Yeah.
They just calculate.
So the percentage of rebate is different from region to region based
I
on how
understand.
much the local
Yeah.
government wants to incentivize.
But this
To
one, just
incorporate their costs.
this one is overall. I think we see a little risk for that, because this one is kind of how to say government support. Sometimes they can cancel it or delay it. The reason why, if you remember in the memo we have provided to you, is in September we changed our projections a bit due for this tax incentive, because in beginning of 2015, government have some big pressures maybe for the financial deficit or what. So they issued a policy out, from now on, suspend all these kind of incentives, need to review and reapprove. So we haven't got any rebate for the first half of the year. That's the reason why we didn't project March incentives in our first version. But afterwards, I think during August, September, they have big pressure. Somehow they kind of loosen this policy, or they kind of maybe have some internal communication. We begin to receive some rebates out. Then also when we talk with the local government, the message we get is to see this is going to be resumed. So we add back these incentives in our projections. So that's why we have a revised one in late September, all to reflect this kind of subtle changes we have seen or we have projected.
Which provinces did that dialogue take place? Because there were so many different provinces, they didn't all have the same policy.
The The suspension policy was issued
It's
by the
from
central
central government.
government.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's why all governments said, okay, we don't know what's going to happen.
It's from premium 李克强.
Right, we've got to listen to
yeah,
him,
yeah,
all right.
that's not the central government. And also, beginning this year, they officially cancelled the previous
Sure.
policy. It's a bit embarrassing, but this happened.